Here is an image of something you can find in every chemistry classroom across the globe. The periodic table is something that is instantly recognizable, extremely important, and is often taken for granted. The development of this technological marvel is often considered one of the most important scientific discoveries of all time, and it is a collection of various scientific geniuses throughout the last couple of centuries. The development of this table has been evolving over the last 100 years, and is continually in development as more discoveries are being made. In the past, the table had various forms that were arranged by criteria such as mass or melting point. However, it was not until 1869 when Dmitri Mendeleev reshaped the periodic table by arranging it by atomic weight. During this time, when Dmitri started his discoveries, only approximately 30 elements had been discovered. Throughout his work, this table was eventually organized into a table of 56 elements. Today, the periodic table consists of 118 elements and continues to grow as we develop new higher energy chemical processes. This raises the cardinal question: why is Dimitri's work so significant? Why do his contributions stand above other scientists of the time? Dmitri was not only able to categorize these elements in an analytical way, but his work predicted the existence and properties of undiscovered elements at the time. The prediction of the elements involved very abstract and obscure theories for the time. Although esoteric to many, Dmitri had a heightened sense for this unconventional yet brilliant work. He was able to predict the melting points, atomic weights, and densities of these unknown and undiscovered elements. His predictions and theories were remarkably accurate to what was found at a later date. His predictions included Eka aluminum, Eka silicon, and Eka boron, which are now known as gallium, germanium, and of course, scandium. As you can see, he was able to predict the properties of these undiscovered elements with amazing precision. Another remarkable thing that Mendeleev was able to recognize is that there were slight variances in atomic weight. This was later discovered to be because of the presence of various atomic isotopes for each element. Most impressively, he was even able to predict technetium, which was not found in nature and could only be created in a cyclotron 30 years after his death. There were a few shortcomings of Mendeleev's periodic table. It did not include the noble gases, and he could not place hydrogen because it could be included in either the alkali metal group or the halogen group. Nevertheless, considering the technology at the time, it would have been very difficult to detect noble gases, and it was not until August of 1894 when Sir William Ramsay discovered the first noble gas and named it argon. Although Dmitri is mostly known for his work in creating the periodic table of elements, he was also known well for his work as an inventor, an alchemist, a writer, and lastly a teacher. Dmitri was a professor at St. Petersburg Technological Institute and St. Petersburg State University in 1863. He worked on the capillary action of liquids and the invention of the spectroscope. Another interesting fact worth noting is that Mendeleev also studied the origin of petrochemicals, and he wrote as follows: "The capital fact to note is that petroleum was born in the depths of the earth, and it is only there that we must seek its origin," which Mendeleev candidly said in 1877. This shows that even in a time where the world was less dependent on fossil fuels, Mendeleev knew studying how they were created would be significant to further the discovery of future fossil fuels. Mendeleev is also responsible for the invention of pyrocolodion that was proposed to the Russian Navy in 1892 as a replacement for gunpowder. Although the Russian Navy rejected it due to cost and efficiency issues, as technology improves, we might see this discovery return in New Age military weapons. Despite being raised in an intensely religious family, Mendeleev rejected the traditional Christian Orthodox, not due to either atheism or scientific materialism, but rather that he held to a form of romanticized deism. Mendeleev was not only in touch with genius, but he was also deeply connected to the natural world. The obscure and incredible life of Dmitri Mendeleev was not only related to his discoveries and inventions in his life. He lived a desolate and secluded life, disconnected from both his family and influence from religions during the time period. With many people subjected to disease and infection during his time in Russia, many members of his family were diagnosed with disease and lost their lives. Dmitri himself battled with tuberculosis when he was young and against the odds. His higher self prevailed and transcended through this time. After his recovery, many believed him to be a higher being, for not many people are able to move past such a severe disease. Despite his battles with diseases, family turmoil, and disregard for religious practices, Dmitri prevailed to become one of the most influential scientists in past and present science. He rose above his struggle. He introduced the metric system to Russia and ultimately became a revolutionary scientist. He accurately predicted previously undiscovered elements, and overall, his genius helped develop a growing understanding of all physical matter. Dmitri Mendeleev created an understanding of the elements of the universe on a molecular scale before any understanding of molecular-based reactions were even known of. His mapping of the elemental universe set the path for chemists and alchemists alike to create all the known elements and chemical compounds of today. His understanding of elements fathered reaction chemistry and the understanding of elemental properties. It can be said that Dmitri has affected every element of your life. Although Dmitri Mendeleev has not received a Nobel Prize, he has received one of the most notable scientific honors, having element 101, Mendeleevium, named after him. We can all serve the memory of Dmitri Mendeleev by using his understanding of chemistry on a molecular scale to continue to create new chemical compounds, to utilize existing synthetically created materials in new innovative ways, and to use overall our knowledge to aid in the growth of civilization. We will honor Dmitri's life and scientific contributions by living our own lives, committed to being connected to our genius, no matter the adverse obstacles that may stand in our way. By continually expanding our minds, engineers and scientists alike can develop innovations to improve the lives of everyone. In return, we will be serving our own genius by augmenting this wisdom into new technology.